controlled by your qualities as well. Therefore, nothing is impossible for him.
Yeah, so when you are saying that you will protect me, it's not impossible for you. Because you can punish anyone. You are filled with good qualities. Next one.
O best of men, I do not know the person who is the cause of my suffering, since I am bewildered by different statements of scriptures. Commentary. I do not know the person from whom the seeds of suffering will arise. Why do you conceal the person? I even see the person who is giving you suffering.
Yeah, so I'm able to see that this particular Sudra is giving me suffering. So why you are saying, I don't know who is my perpetrator, I don't know who is like causing me suffering.
True, he is giving me suffering, but there should be a seed of my suffering, because of which he gives me suffering. It cannot be otherwise. I do not know that person from whom the seed arises.
Yeah. So it's like because of seed of the sin, which is causing me suffering. This person is just like an instrument. And I don't know who is the cause of that seed of the sin. So one who is the cause of the seed of the sin is the cause of my suffering. So then he says, Parikshit says, why, but you know scriptures, why do you say that you do not know?
True knowledge of many scriptures is the cause of misunderstanding them.
So many scriptures say so many things. Bahu Shastra, Bahu Vakya, Chitta Bhamare. So some scriptures say this is the cause, some scriptures say that is the cause. And that is why I am totally confused who is the cause of the suffering. Like there are Jyotish Shastras who say, who is the cause of suffering?
Saturn.
Grahas. Bad planets are the suffering. Then there are Dharma Shastras who say, what is the cause of suffering?
Karma.
Vikarma. Vikarma is the cause of suffering. Because you are transgressing the rules of scripture, that's why you are the cause of suffering. You have committed sin. Some scriptures which are Gyan Shastras, what they say, what is the cause of suffering? Mind is the cause of suffering. Misidentification with the matter is the cause of suffering. So in this way, so many scriptures say different things, so I am confused who is the cause of suffering. Like Avanti Brahman. According to Avanti Brahman, what is the cause of suffering? Somebody knows? Uddhav Gita.
He himself is the cause.
Mind.
Mind.
ना हम जनों में सुख दुख हेतु ना देवतात्मा ग्रह कर्म काला मना परम कारण मामनन्ति संसार चक्रम प्रवर्तयेत ना हम जनों में दुख सुख हेतु. All these people who are creating troubles for me, they are not cause of my sufferings. People who are spitting at him, snatching away his bowl, passing foul air on him, what not. So na ham janam mein sukh dekh, they are not cause of my suffering. Na deva, demigods are not the cause of suffering. Atma, I myself am not the cause of my suffering. Graha, bad planets are not cause of my suffering. Grah karma, my bad karma is not cause of my suffering. Kala, some people say, oh, time is very bad. Time is not the cause of suffering. Mana param karana mamananti, my mind is cause of my suffering. So he says that mind. Dharma says I don't know. Different people say different things. I am confused. Please read 19th.
Some say the self is the cause of suffering. Others say planets are the cause of suffering. Others say karma is the cause. Others say the inherent property of matter is the cause.
Satchet Anand, but this Asat, Achit, Niranand. Matter is only cause of suffering. It is Niranand. Please read commentary.
Here the different opinions are described. Some, the yogis who cover up vasana, the difference, vikalpa, say the soul, master of the self, gives happiness and suffering. Bhagavad Gita 6.5 says, Atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva rikur atmana. The Atma itself is the friend of the soul and the enemy of the soul. Or the meaning can be, some, the Advaitins, who say that the Jiva and Lord become one, say that the Atma is the source of happiness and suffering. They also say that devatas cannot be the cause since they are controlled by karma as well, and karma cannot be the cause because it is not independent. Thus, only the Atma is the cause and nothing else. Others, those who believe in planets controlled by devatas, say that planets are the cause. The Mimamsakas say that karma is the cause. Others, the Lokayatas, say that Swabhava, the inherent property of matter, is the cause.
What to do? Matter is Satyat, Asat Achit Niranand. By nature it is cause of suffering. So misidentification of with matter is cause of suffering. So different people say different things. I am confused. One who is a third class fool and those who are Paramhamsas, they are very clear in their intelligence. Anyone in between is confused. That's why you will find sometimes you will find that new devotees are very confident of philosophy. So they go and break the teeth of people and this and that. And as the people become very advanced, then they say, this opinion is also there by this acharya, that opinion by that acharya. And people say, why is he not confident? He's not confident because he's educated.
So, Parikshit says to the Buddha, oh, you are Dharma, because you, according to your answer, it's really elevated.
Yes.
So sometimes accepting our ignorance is a sign of spiritual elevation in this.
Yeah. So he's basically deliberating. So those who deliberate and find, then they'll find it's not like things are black and white. So they see, it's not that everything is so confusing, because whole philosophy is in line only. There is a remote cause and there is a ultimate cause. So we find through everything. But despite that, he is confused because he knows that there are a lot of remote causes also. So you can't blame one person. Because we have seen everything. We have seen sometimes people who are very rich, of everything is good in their life. Despite that, they are distressed. Have you seen people like that? At least I have seen. I saw one lady, she's very rich lady. She was really distressed. So our brahmacharis went to her place. And we were doing kirtans, and then she said that I have a lot of distress. So they said that, but you have a lot of money. Yes, my husband gives me $700,000, not dollars, rupees per month as a pocket money just to spend. 7 lakh rupees per month as a pocket money for spending. And then he said, and your sons are okay? Sons are first class, they are also earning and they are very religious.
Religious?
Husband is also very good, he is also religious. They are actually from Marwadi families. Then what is the trouble? I also don't know the trouble. No bad health, good health, lot of money, supportive family, still she is in distress and she doesn't know what is the cause of distress. Sometimes you will find people are so miserable. Everything is ripped apart. And except them, everybody is very happy. Sorry, except them, everybody is sad about them, but they are very happy. We know one of our devotees. He was taking all the company interviews so casually. And then other devotees prayed to him, please get into some company. At least give one interview seriously. And then he said, okay, fine, what to do? Devotees requesting I have to take some company interview. So no trouble, some people have no trouble.
There is ignorance, right? How Sataguna?
Then the point is that, now you may say that no, this is ignorance and this and that. They may say, I am satisfied. They have their own philosophy. I am satisfied. I depend on Krishna, I am satisfied. Please read 20th.
And among these, some ascertain that happiness and distress come from that which is beyond reason and perception. O sage among kings, consider the proper truths by your intelligence. The Vaishnavas ascertain that the happiness and suffering come from the Supreme Lord. you cannot be determined by designations. Shruti says, Tvad avagami naveti bhavat uta subha subha yo guna vigunan vaya. One who knows you cannot understand your connection with good and bad qualities which give auspiciousness and inauspiciousness.
This is the translation.
Pleasure, pain, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, infamy, all these various states of the living beings arise only from me. But why should it be impossible to designate the Lord as the cause?
Yeah, because Lord is cause of all causes, then He should be cause. He is the cause of suffering. Yeah.
From seeing people suffering arising from time, karma, property of matter, planets, ghosts, kings, snakes, and sickness, even those things cannot be determined as the cause, since in reality those causes are not independent. Everything arises from the Lord. But it is improper for the worshippers to say that the Lord is the cause of happiness and distress.
Okay, Lord is the cause of how can Lord be the cause of distress? How can Lord be the cause of distress? Can someone give some analogy to explain?
Lord is cause of distress.
He's just a channel for people to suffer their own distress that they've put up on themselves. So it's not that he doesn't want people to suffer, he doesn't want people to distress, but the wrong actions that the individuals have engaged in have caused them to chastise them, to make them return to him in some way, shape or form. So he's the cause of all causes.
But He is the cause of chastisement, no?
As in, he's not the cause, he's just the effect of the cause that the living entity did.
Oh, if you love your child, even if he commits some mistake, you forgive. Why do you punish him?
To correct him.
For him to learn.
What to correct? You have made the laws of what is right, what is wrong.
Okay.
By suffering,
But
The Lord gave the Shastras, that's the rules for the universal world. So He's the judge, He's dwelling in the heart and witness, and so He sanctions through His material creation. So nobody. So He's impartial in that way.
So
No, but why Shastras? Shastras should be anything you do is you get the good.
we are in prison also, we have to get out of prison. So Lord is giving the things how to get out.
so what we
You make prison for citizens. You don't make prison for your own children.
Yeah, but that's just to regulate them. To make sure that
To channelize, otherwise they'll become whatever.
I cannot understand what is your question. What are you asking this not to?
I'm asking that God is cause of suffering.
Suffering. Yes.
So they are trying to refute it.
The suffering, if we suffering, some things happen, then we can remember Krishna always through the suffering.
So that means you are saying.
Cause of the suffering for Krishna giving to us.
So that means suffering is good.
Good.
But
For remembering Krishna.
But that depends on how you.
The blessing from Krishna. The suffering.
But I don't want suffering.
Then that means that you'd have to stop engaging in sinful activities, isn't it?
Even if the Lord sanctions in the end, still there is some part of karma and the Lord reduce that price.
Why not make it zero? Why reduce?
Because you have to learn, otherwise you will not even know that you are doing something wrong.
Then you just think you can do bad things and you'll just be able to get away with it easily, isn't it?
And it's for you to remember the Lord, it's for you to be glorious by tolerating those suffering.
No, but you find so many people suffer, they don't remember the Lord.
They don't?
Remember the Lord.
But that's their misconceptions. That's their illusion, thinking that they're suffering because of something else.
See, when suffering is there, nobody comes and announces, you should remember Krishna now.
But that's because they're not in knowledge, isn't it?
That's ignorance, no problem. That's ignorance. Lord, indirectly through the material nature, He's trying again and again. That person is telling no. After some time,
Have you seen so
you
many-
are responsible. You are responsible because you have the choice to surrender to the Lord or to the material nature.
you. Acha.
Because he plays the devil advocate.
Just now we proved that it is Lord is cause of all causes. And He is the cause of suffering also. Now you are saying I am not the cause of all causes. God who is cause of all causes.
Because of the austere and cleanness within and without to the cause of suffering. we clean within and without us.
Because of our forgetfulness of the Lord and due to our independent nature, the suffering is being imposed on us by our own choice actually.
And what you consider happiness and distress, it's up to your own mind. It's relative. The Lord is beyond those conceptions made by logic and so on.
Okay, that means there is no suffering at all. My question is wrong.
There may be some, but the way you deal with it could also change that perception.
Okay, means if there is suffering, it is just by wrong perception. Otherwise, it is an enjoyment.
If you practice devotional service, if you chant the holy name, then your suffering will disappear.
That
You will
means
not
if
consider-
I am chanting Hare Krishna and somebody is stabbing me with a knife, that is also pleasure. It's not a suffering.
There is eternity for you in that time.
But what about the pain which I get in my body?
But then you have to be a bit realistic as well, isn't it?
Hmm?
You have to add a little practicality and realism to the situation.
No, but you are contradicting him.
I'm not contradicting him. I'm saying that you won't feel pain if you're in touch with the soul, but your body will feel pain.
The body is dead now. How does body feel the pain? It's me who-
Consciousness, soul is connected to the body. So consciousness.
So I am suffering now.
No, but if you identify with the body, you'll feel the pain. If you identify with the soul, you won't feel any pain. In the same way as when you had your needle in your arm, if you identified with your arm, you would have felt pain, isn't it? But you didn't feel pain.
Don't. I'm acting like a devil's advocate. You don't use my lessons.
Material morality is different from spiritual morality. So if you consider good and bad in terms of body, then you will end in the different conclusion that if you perceive good and bad in terms of satisfaction of the Lord, like Prahlad Maharaj, or Krishna, he kills people in the battlefield, but they are liberated. So if you see only the killing, there you can say it's immoral, but if you accept the liberation part, then you find it's okay.
Good answer.
No, but in like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, he is not in direct touch with the material. He created it, runs on his own. So he is nowhere connected to that. So how you can say he is the cause of suffering?
No, but he's the one who has automated the whole thing, no?
He has automated and it's going automatically.
But who is automated?
He has automated, but that's based on our desires and thing only it's happening. Right?
But who has caused the automation? It's like I put somebody in a factory, push him inside.
Yes.
Then who is responsible? I am responsible for stuffing him inside, no?
But I put him in the factory because he wants to be in that factory. Na? We want to be in the world, so he put him.
So you meant to say that Jiva himself is responsible.
Yes.
But who has created the Jiva?
Jiva always existed.
Krishna created.
There is no creation of the Jiva. always existed.
Isn't he energy of Krishna?
Yes.
So why did he give him a free will to, misuse?
Because then that's how you test the individual. Because if you don't have free will, then you can't test whether the individual is sincere or not. So you have to give them-
Compassion.
No, because
You
we
have
are
to give-
different than Krishna's
you have
qualities. So Krishna independent, we also independent. But Krishna is independent for whole, very for everything. But we are independent for our own such.
Okay, at least you could. Anyway, now I will not probe inside more. That's the meaning of love. Love means when choose to be with Krishna or be away from Krishna. One very, very simple analogy Prabhupada gives. He gives the analogy of a sun. Sun.
Sun.
Is sun the cause of shadow?
No.
If there is no sun, where will there be a shadow?
Yes.
Huh?
No, sorry, no.
But sun is not the cause.
I thought you said darkness. Oh, sorry.
Sun is not the cause of this matter.
Sun is the cause of shadow. No. If there is no
Sun
sun,
is the
where is
cause.
shadow?
An object which is coming across the path of the sun is the cause of the shadow.
But unless if there is no sunlight, there is no shadow.
No shadow, no
Because
sunlight, no
ultimate
shadow.
cause, I am telling immediate cause.
There can only be a shadow if there's sun.
Hmm?
There can only be a shadow if there's sun.
Yeah. So that means, so similarly, God is the cause of shadow. So shadow is compared to suffering. Suffering. Shadow is compared to suffering. But shadow is visible when you face the sun or you face away from the sun. When is shadow visible? When you look toward the sun or away from the sun?
Shadow.
Huh.
Turn.
Yes.
Turn.
So when you turn away from the sun, then the shadow is visible.
Shadow will be there.
If you look toward the sun, there is no shadow.
Yeah.
Similarly, sufferings are there when you turn away from Krishna. When you look towards Krishna, there is no suffering.
No, sir, no suffering. Yeah, true.
So it is something like that. So of course, Lord is cause of suffering, but only when you turn away from the Lord. If you turn towards the Lord, there is no. So that's the Vaishnava philosophy.
Turn to Krishna, nothing.
So Prabhupada gives this analogy. Like for 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they would barely eat, barely sleep, but there is no suffering. We have turned away from Krishna, we don't sleep properly, there is a headache for the whole day. Okay, so we had a lot of deliberation. Dharma.
After Saturday, you cannot go back. That point already. No. No, that point. Suffering.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes, he is beyond conjecture. We will read this last one.
Go a little down.
By using the word Nishchaya, certainty at the end of the list of opinion, this final opinion should be taken as the correct conclusion according to the Vaishnavas. By saying among all of them, Kesu, it is indicated that this idea is rare. The king should consider this vimarsa among the various alternatives. Happiness and distress are not illusory because suffering is actually experienced. Its cause is not the Atma itself, since the Jiva is dependent. The cause is not the planet because they are dependent on movement of time. The cause of suffering and happiness is not karma because it is insentient. Moreover, the man of dharma following the path of Mimamsakas has prarabdha and aprarabdha karmas. If so, then their idea that following their path of karma destroys suffering is negative. So bhava is not the cause since it is not an exclusive cause. The Lord as the cause is absolute. Bhishma has said already that the plan of the Lord, however, is impossible for everyone to understand.
Yes.
मोह अन्माया लोकम गूढ़ शक्ति विष्णु सुने ये सवे भगवान साक्षात आदो नारायण अपमान मोह माया मोह गॉड गूढ़ शक्ति विष्णु सुने so moh and maya lokam, so he puts whole world into illusion and is such a complex person. He moves among the Vishnu Vamsi as if he is an ordinary person, but he is not ordinary person. He is who? Ye save Bhagavan Sakshat. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Adyo Narayana Pavan. He is the original Narayan. He is the origin of all Narayans. Krishna. So he is the cause of everything. But as soon as we move towards Krishna, there is no suffering. When we are away from Krishna, there is suffering. As simple as that. So that way we find that devotees, when Krishna comes, sometimes devotees seem to be in so much suffering. If we see externally, Vrindavan was more in suffering when Krishna was not there or when Krishna was there.
Was there.
Not there.
No, when he is
No,
there.
I am saying before Krishna was not there, before Krishna appeared. That time Vrindavan had lesser sufferings or after Krishna came?
After Krishna.
After Krishna came there was suffering. Every day breakfast, lunch and dinner time there would be a demon.
Yes. 2 times. Last.
Yeah.
Comes
Before that, there was no demon. Or Nandiswar, we hear that Nandiswar, some demons were there. But Gokul Mahavan, Vrindavan, no demons. Such a peaceful place. All troubles came when Krishna came.
No, but that's fun.
It's the cause of all
The,
causes.
the Koran boys, they enter the mouth of Agasura because they are so confident. They have no fear anymore.
So that is what Krishna wants to show. That it is not the sufferings of the world which are actual cause of suffering. It is absence of Krishna which is actual cause of suffering.
Absent means absent of Krishna?
Krishna consciousness.
Oh, yes.
So when we are not Krishna conscious, then we are suffering. External causes cannot be cause of suffering. Or when we say in Ayodhya, Ayodhya Vasis were they happy, more happy when Lord Ram came externally, or after Lord Ram came.
Sorry again.
In Ayodhya also, did Ayodhya Vasis get more suffering after Lord Ram came externally, or after Lord Ram came?
What is externally? After defeating Ravana, we can.
So we see now, everything happened after Lord Ram came, then there was a plot by, who did a plot? Mantra.
Yes, yes.
Mantra and Kaki did the whole plot. Lord Ram had to go away. Everybody was weeping and crying in Ayodhya. And then Lord Ram came. There also Sita was abducted.
Yeah.
And then he came and he ruled. But then this washerman was there. He pointed at that why did Lord Ram accept Sita? Sita was abandoned. Again, Ayodhya Vasi had to cry. Sita is not there. Sita is not there. Suns appeared at that place. When suns came, Sita disappeared from this world. So many turmoils and turbulations after Lord Ram came. So if they were not Krishna conscious, they would say, why Lord Ram is there in life? But the point is, when Krishna is there, even if there are external tribulations, there is a great bliss. So it is not the external situations which are the cause of suffering, it is because we are not Krishna conscious, we are suffering.
Yes, suffering.
So that's why in that sense, Lord is the ultimate cause of all sufferings. Lord is the ultimate cause means we don't turn towards the Lord, that's why we are suffering. As soon as we turn towards the Lord, there is no suffering.
But you know when we actually face suffering, right? So you know like sometimes there will be like some planets can cause us sufferings. But that would be from us not being Krishna conscious. Does that make sense? So you see, like from a previous birth, if we come into this birth, then we give him our prarabdha karmas, right? Which is our whole amount. But then we have our sanchit, which is our section that we're meant to receive in this life, right? So that sanchit can be received through the different planetary systems as well, you see. So how does that tie into this explanation? So am I right in thinking that if we're absent from Krishna, then we would receive that suffering in that form, but it's not directly from the planet? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that the right way of thinking?
See, main thing is you have nothing to do with the planet because you have nothing to do with the body and mind.
Right.
Planets affect the body, planets affect the mind. But you have nothing to do with the body, you have nothing to do with the mind.
Right.
So as soon as you realize that you have nothing to do with the mind and you are just part and parcel of Krishna, there is no suffering. There is no suffering.
But then those, how can I explain?
Like if you see even in the lives of devotees many a times, if you ask astrologers, they will tell you why they were suffering.
Yeah.
They will tell you, no, this planet was not good, that planet was not good. Or some devotee, they change their places. Or they have some other troubles from the mind. There are astrological explanations also. But if we read them, I personally read for some of the devotees. And even for myself also, things are working according to astrology. But the point is, when Krishna's connection is there, then things become Krishnaized. All happiness becomes Krishnaized, suffering becomes Krishnaized.
Yes.
So what you mean is
And when sufferings become Krishnaized, there are no more sufferings. You call them that no, he did for Krishna's pleasure, he did for Prabhupada's pleasure. Like Prabhupada, he underwent 3 heart attacks.